What's going on there, YouTube, and welcome back to another comic book video. Okay, so we are going to continue our coverage over Batman Reborn. When it comes to Batman Reborn, it takes place after Final Crisis and Battle for the Cowl. See, with the death of Bruce Wayne in the Final Crisis event, we had a new Batman take up the mantle, and that was Dick Grayson. Now, after Dick Grayson had took up the mantle, you also had other changes in the Bat family, like Stephanie Brown become the new Batgirl, or Tim Drake become the new Red Robin, and Damian Wayne become the new, well, just Robin. Either way, you had a whole new Bat family being led by Dick Grayson. Now, later on in the Batman Reborn era of Batman comics, we came to find out that Bruce Wayne was not dead. Matter of fact, Bruce was alive and well, just time displaced. He was stuck in the past. And so you had heroes go out of their way to try to find him and bring him back over to the present day. Now, here comes the problem with today's storyline. See, Grant Morrison gave us a story called Batman and Robin Must Die, and that was one of the biggest storylines in his run in Batman and Robin. The problem is it is a 4-part storyline, and the first 2 chapters takes place before Bruce Wayne returns, and the last 2 chapters take place after Bruce Wayne returns. And so what we are going to do today is cover the first 2 chapters. The next video is going to be the story where we see Bruce Wayne come back to the past. And then the final video will wrap up this video right here. Unfortunately, we have to do it this way because Grant Morrison wrote this book in a very interesting way. And so here is the first 2 chapters of Batman and Robin Must Die. Yes, you heard that right. Batman and Robin Must Die. And so getting into today's storyline, we actually do pick up with the return of Thomas Wayne. Now you already know this cannot be possible because Thomas died alongside with Martha Wayne because their death led to the origin of Bruce Wayne becoming Batman. And so you already know this is not Thomas. And matter of fact, this is Simon Hurt. Now, when it comes to Simon Hurt, he has been a longtime bad guy for Batman and Grant Morrison's run on Batman. Now, when it comes to Simon, he does have his own group, and that would be the Black Glove. Now, when it comes to his plans for this storyline right here, unfortunately, we are not going to learn his entire plan until our next video. Just know right now, you have Simon coming back to Gotham, but saying that he is Thomas Wayne, and he has everybody fooled. Now, this is great for Simon because at this point in time, Bruce is not back yet. Bruce is still back in the past, and you have heroes right now trying to bring him to the present day. Now, when it comes to Bruce Wayne, Gotham believes that he's still alive for a very good reason. And that will be because of Hush. Because remember, after Final Crisis, Hush did change his face to look like Bruce Wayne. And once he did that, he had the entire city believe that he was Bruce Wayne. Now, the reason why Hush did that because he was trying to ruin the legacy of Bruce Wayne. But the Bat family caught on and made him kind of work for them, but to also pretend to be Bruce Wayne so that they are able to kind of say, oh, Bruce is not dead, Bruce is alive and well, he's right here. And so Hush does work for the Bat family, really more being forced to work for the Bat family. But when it comes to Simon Hurt, yeah, he does come back to Gotham City and pretends to be Thomas Wayne. And so this is the perfect time to do that. Now, of course, you already know he should be stopped by Batman and Robin. But at this point in time, we come to find out Batman and Robin, Dick Grayson and Damian Wayne, they have been caught and they're being held as hostages. And we're left to wonder, how in the world did we get to this point right here? But then you have Simon Hurt pull out a gun and he shoots Dick Grayson in the back of the head, and we're left to believe that Dick Grayson has just been murdered. We now lost another Batman. And so we have to jump back 3 days ago to figure out how in the world we got to this point right here. And so with us going back in the past, we pick up with Batman and Robin paying a visit over to the Joker. Now this is actually very important because it does pick up where our last video left off at. Now remember, at the end of our last video, Dick Grayson was able to figure out that Mr. Sexton was actually the Joker. Now at first, we were left to believe that Mr. Sexton was this great writer and great detective coming out of England, coming to Gotham to help Batman and Robin figure out who is the Domino Killer. Because every single time someone died in Gotham City, well, a domino piece was left behind. And we kind of find out that killer was actually the Joker. And every single person that he killed off was apparently part of the Black Glove. Now, this is a callback to an earlier storyline where the Black Glove had used Joker as a way to get to Batman. Now, for the Joker, he did not like that at all. And so he began going around the world, or around Gotham, yeah, the world actually, to kill off different members of the Black Glove to get revenge for being used by them. Now, after that, you have to wonder, was Mr. Sexton a real person? Well, yes, he is, because after his wife had died, that was when he became a great writer, a great detective. But Joker was able to find out that when it came to his wife's death, Sexton was the one who had killed off his wife. And so what Joker did was, because he killed off his wife, he buried Mr. Sexton along with his wife alive in the same coffin with his wife. And of course he died while being buried there underground. But then you had Joker take his identity and use as a way to get back to Gotham to mess with Batman. And so this is where we jump over to Dick Grayson and Jim Gordon going over to a secret Batcave. Now, when they do arrive at this secret Batcave, they begin to look at the different clues that they have gathered in earlier storylines. Now, with that being said, you have Dick Grayson and Jim Gordon both realize that there has to be some kind of connection between El Piente, this Mexican drug lord, the Black Glove, but also the Joker. Now we already know, when it comes to El Piente, it was just Simon Hurt pretending to be El Piente, this Mexican drug lord, who was just sending random people to attack Gotham left and right in different ways. But our heroes don't know that technically El Piente is Simon Hurt. But then you have our heroes think about Professor Pig. Now, when it comes to Professor Pig, he was a new creation made by Grant Morrison in the first story arc of Batman and Robin. But when it came to Professor Pig, he had his way of turning folks into Dolotrons, people that he could control. Now, he did release some kind of toxin in Gotham City to hopefully control more people down the road. But our heroes were able to make a cure to use to kind of fight against the toxin and save the lives of many people. But you have Batman say, what if we got it wrong? What if the cure that we use is actually some kind of drug that makes folks addictive to the cure? Now that is huge, because what he's saying is, think about the flu. You have a flu and you didn't get your flu shot to kind of fight against the flu symptoms. But what if the flu shot is actually a drug that you get addicted to, and now you want more flu shots? And that is what Dick is saying. When it came to the cure for Professor Pig's drug, it now became some new kind of drug where folks are addictive to that drug. They're trying to get more of the cure to the point where they might go even crazy and do horrible things in Gotham City. And that is actually very huge. Now, with that being said, you did have an officer call up Jim to tell Jim that, hey, Robin came by one more time to interrogate the Joker. And that freaks out Dick Grayson a lot, because when it comes to Damian Wayne, we cannot forget, he was part of the League of Assassins. At this point in time in DC Comics, Dick was still trying to change Damian, to make him a better person. And so technically, Damian is still down to kill people. And now he's along with the Joker, he might actually kill off the Joker. And so we jump over to Robin, who's right now interrogating the Joker. Now, while you have Robin interrogating the Joker, it's really more of Robin trying to figure out what is the secret plan of the Joker. Because usually when it comes to the Joker, he always has a plan. Now, his plans may seem crazy and wild, but at the same time, it's still a plan that only makes sense to him. And so when it comes to Robin, he's saying, I know you. I know that you have some kind of plan up your sleeve. The question is though, what is your plan? What are you planning to do? And how can we stop you from actually pulling it off? And so you have Robin say, you know what? I got a better idea. I'm going to beat the answer out of you. Yeah, you heard that right. And so you have Robin grab a crowbar. Now this is a callback to Jason Todd, the way he was beaten and then blown up by the Joker, but he was beaten down by the Joker with a crowbar. And so this is Robin just swinging away, beating down on the Joker. And this is what Dick Grayson was worried about, because Damian is still untamed. He still goes a little crazy sometimes when it comes to bad guys. But this is where things begin to fall apart, because while you have Batman and Jim Gordon trying to get back over to where Robin and the Joker are at, well, we kind of find out they were at Blackgate. Either way, while you have our two heroes trying to get back over there to Damian, well, they're in the Batmobile. They're flying in the sky. Yes, the Batmobile can fly and be on the road sometimes. Either way, while being inside there and trying to get back over to where Robin is at, they're shot out of the sky. And we kind of find out a breakout is beginning to happen at Blackgate, this other prison in Gotham City. And the one person that's right now being broken free is Professor Pig. And this is where all the mess begins to happen. And it leads into the present day, but also the return of Bruce Wayne. And so we jump into the second chapter. Now, when we do, we actually do pick up with the Joker still getting beat down by Damian Wayne. Now, while you have Joker just taking a beating, that is when you have his plan go into motion. Because like Robin said earlier, when it comes to the Joker, he always has something up his sleeve. The question is though, what? Because his plans never make sense to anybody else except to himself. And so this is where you have the Joker plan go into motion, because he begins to fight back against Robin. Now you would think that Robin should be able to handle the Joker. Unfortunately though, when it comes to the Joker, he has poison on his fingernails. And so when he's able to scratch Robin, the poison had begun to affect Robin to the point where he is unable to fight. He is unable to move. And then you have Joker begin the process of breaking out of his prison cell, but also taking Robin as his hostage. But then we see Black Glove being led by, of course, Simon Hurt, and they're trying to break out Professor Pig. Now, the reason why they're trying to break out Professor Pig, because in one of our earlier videos of Batman and Robin by Grant Morrison, we saw the Black Glove and Simon Hurt come to Wayne Manor to grab some kind of box. Now, we still have no idea what is inside the box, but apparently Simon Hurt cannot open the box unless he plans on destroying everything inside the box. And so what he is saying is Professor Pig is going to help him figure out a way to open the box without destroying anything inside the box. And so technically Professor Pig doesn't have a choice here. He has to help out Simon Hurt with this new game plan. But getting back over to Dick Grayson and Jim Gordon, we cannot forget they were just shot out of the sky and they crashed in the middle of Gotham City. Well, technically right next to Blackgate. And so you had a bunch of different people begin to attack the Batmobile, of course Jim and also Dick Grayson. Now Dick is knocked out and you have Jim trying his best to protect Dick Grayson and to hopefully wake him up. But that is when you have the Batmobile saying, it is going to self-explode. And that is very huge because right now it's asking for Dick Grayson's voice to shut down the process of exploding. But Dick is knocked out. And so Jim is trying his best. And Jim is able at one point to wake up Dick Grayson. The problem is though, it's too late. Because by the time you have Dick say, shut down your self-destruct process, it still goes off. And we're left to believe that Jim could possibly be seriously hurt, and Dick is also most likely seriously hurt. And so we do jump forward one day. So we're still in the past. We haven't caught up to the present moment just yet, with of course, Simon Hurt shooting Dick Grayson back of the head. But getting into the second day in the past, we actually do pick up with Dick Grayson waking up in the Batcave. Now, when he does wake up in the Batcave, he is confronted by Alfred. And you have Alfred tell Dick Grayson what is happening right now in Gotham City. Because let's not forget, earlier, him and Jim Gordon said they gave a cure to everybody who was affected by Professor Pig's toxin. But that cure was not actually a cure. It was a new kind of drug to make people addicted to that drug. And so right now, Gotham City is going crazy and wild all over the place. And so with that happening, is Dick saying he has to get back out there. Unfortunately, that is when the Joker calls up. And you have the Joker say, oh, hey, by the way, I got your boy Wonder. I got Robin. Don't you want him back? And Dick is all like, yes, I do want him back. And now I have to find you to get him back, but at the same time stop Simon Hurt as well. And so then we jump over to Professor Pig, Simon Hurt, and also Jim Gordon, which tells us that after the Batmobile had exploded, Jim Gordon was grabbed by, well, Professor Pig and Simon Hurt. But right now you have Simon telling the entire city of Gotham that Gotham is now going to be the new capital of crime. But on top of that, he does plan to turn everybody into, well, drug addicts that him and Professor Pig can control. And he is going to start with Jim Gordon. Well, technically, he already did start, but he wants to do the same thing to Jim Gordon as well. Turn him into an addict and then control him. But then out of nowhere, you then have different members of the Black Glove begin to laugh, begin to smile. And that tells us that they also been poisoned because they were eating popcorn. And the question is now, where did the popcorn come from? And we already know it came from the Joker. This is the Joker going at war with Simon Hurt. But at the same time, you have Batman appear. And this leads us into the final moment where you actually do have Batman trying to save Jim Gordon from Simon Hurt and also Professor Pig. Unfortunately, his plan does not go well to plan, because at first it does seem like he may be able to actually pull it off and might be able to grab at least Professor Pig, except when you have Dick Grayson go over to Jim Gordon, he's all like, hey Jim, we gotta go. And Jim says, Dick, behind you. And you have Dick actually turn around, but nobody's there. And then you have Jim knock out Dick Grayson from behind, which tells us that when it came to Simon Hurt and Professor Pig, they already gave Jim Gordon the drug. He became addicted, but at the same time, he was now under their control. And so they told him to knock out the Batman. And now Batman has been captured by, well, Professor Pig and Simon Hurt, while the Joker still has Robin. Now, unfortunately, we have to end today's video on this note right here, because the next one, we're going to cover the return of Bruce Wayne. And that's going to help us wrap up this storyline right here. But with that being said, please leave me a like down below and subscribe. Also, if you have any suggestions on books I should read, well, please let me know in the comments below, because you never know, your suggestion could be a future video down the road. But guys, see y'all next time. Later.